Imagine waking before dawn to find an advancing wall of feathered giants. Necks like sentries, feet drumming the dirt, cutting through your newly sown wheat. That's what happened in Western Australia in late 1932, when farmers already crushed by drought and the Depression suddenly faced an ecological siege. The result? The government sent soldiers with machine guns to help. The episode lasted just over a month, but has lingered as one of history's strangest policy moments. After World War I, Australia resettled many returned soldiers on marginal plots in the Wheatbelt. By the early 1930s, those farms were fragile, low rainfall, low prices, and desperate livelihoods. Emus are native, highly mobile birds that migrate after breeding. In 1932, huge numbers moved into the region, attracted by water and the fresh crops farmers had planted. They trampled seedlings, ate grain, wrecked fence lines, and deepened an economic crisis for veteran settlers. Local petitions to Canberra were urgent. Something had to be done. On the 2nd of November, 1932, the Defense Department authorized a military detachment to help. Major GPW Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery led the operation. He and a small team arrived with 2 World War I vintage Lewis light machine guns and roughly 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The idea was straightforward: use military firepower to reduce emu numbers enough to protect the crops. What the planners underestimated was how different a farming pest is from an enemy force on a map. The field reality quickly undermined the plan. Emus ran fast, up to 30-50 km/h in bursts, moved in loose groups and took cover in scrub, and the open, uneven farmland made mounting an effective, sustained machine gun ambush hard. Troops reported guns overheating and jamming. Birds scattered before accurate, sustained fire could be brought to bear, and corralling them into kill zones proved impractical. Meredith's field report later claimed about 986 confirmed kills using roughly 9,860 rounds, a rate often noted as about 10 rounds per bird. But historians treat those figures with skepticism and stress that many wounded birds likely escaped. The public story quickly turned comic. Headlines and newsreels dubbed it the Emu War, and the image of soldiers frustrated by birds entered popular memory. By early December, Major Meredith was recalled and the direct military campaign ended. The Defense Department concluded the operation had limited lasting value. Policymakers and farmers shifted to lower-tech but more durable solutions. Bounty systems, which in 1934 led to roughly 57,000 claimed EMU bounties in a 6-month period, and large-scale exclusion fencing across vulnerable farmland. These measures, plus farmers with rifles and better local coordination, proved far more effective at reducing crop losses than the short-lived Lewis gun campaign. The Emu War sits at the crossroads of comedy and caution. On the surface, it's an absurd tale, soldiers versus birds, but underneath it's a lesson in policy design. Weapons were a blunt instrument against a mobile, adaptive wild species. The episode shows how ecological problems demand ecological and social solutions: fences, bounties, land management, and local cooperation. It also reminds us to match tools to problems and to think harder about unintended consequences when using state power to solve environmental conflicts. The Great Emu War lasted a little more than a month but left a long story. Part local tragedy, part national oddity, and wholly useful as a historical cautionary tale. If this surprised you, hit like and subscribe for more short, strange, true histories. Match the tool to the task, and sometimes, the best weapon is better planning.